Hi everyone, and welcome back to episode 17 of Tales of Edeah already. To the tower, question mark. And I guess we'll find out if the Ashen Hearts today will make it to the Wizard's Tower on Solarian Isle, or if they decide to open a hatch in the house that they're staying at. We'll find out, but before that, I'm going to do our little introduction. So, if you guys are ready, let's begin. Solarian Isle, year 51 of the new era. Some time ago, the Ashen Hearts travelled to the magical island called Solarian Isle. They went there in search of Patrick Sordenbrand, husband to a prominent Postitian politician. Unfortunately, the island seems more heavily cursed than even they had expected, and a strange mist prevents travel and causes strange effects when it is touched. The Ashen Hearts have now found their way to the House of the Lady, where they have met an elven spirit named Edeah, who claims to be married to the wizard who once made his home here. She warned them several times, but after seeing their resolve, she decided, against her better judgment, to help the group. She has granted them a safe place to rest and recover for a time, and has promised to bless them when they set out again. They have received one warning, however. Whatever they do, they should not enter the basement below the house. Now, the Ashen Hearts have settled in for a night's rest in the small home, a home that looks like it was frozen in time. Shelves are still stacked with cups and plates and other knickknacks that make it a home. The bed was still made, even if it was dusty, and pretty much the only thing that you couldn't find was any food. Now, as everyone has settled in, we join Turnock on the first watch of the night. And while discoveries were being made and last minute chatter before everyone settled in to sleep, Turnock was setting up a ritual. He has produced 2 small candles and a small pouch filled with cedar leaves, which he burns quietly. Yet, surprisingly, there is no smoke, although the air does smell fresher and cleaner than it did previously. He speaks a quiet prayer, words lost to the air, whispered under his breath, and his eyes close for a moment as well. Now, Turnock, I'm going to take you into another voice room, and the rest of you can speculate about what is going on. Hey. Alright. So, Turnock, as the air clears around you and you utter your prayer, your vision shifts. You find yourself standing in a familiar place, a high castle that you haven't seen outside of these visions. And looking down from its lonely place on a hilltop, it looks down over a wide and flat countryside. Far overhead shines a pale yellow sun, and below, forests and fields and towns stretch all the way to a nearby river that curls into the distance. You're standing on an open plateau that stretches out from the side of the castle, the wind buffeting you, and you've met Relior here before. With a sinking feeling, you think that once again he has not appeared, and you're almost ready to settle in and wait for the duration of the ritual in hopes that he might come. But then you hear the clanking of heavy metal footfalls on the tiled stone. You turn around, and you see the dead half-orc hero from centuries ago, your mentor, your friend. But instead of being dressed in his usual courtly attire, he lacks the pompous, puffy sleeves and trousers that you've become accustomed to, and you find him instead encased in his battle armor, the faceplate of his helmet shoved open to reveal a hard-to-read expression. If you like, you can roll an insight check to see if you can read him a little bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, what bad would that be? Insight check. One.
The only obvious emotion that you can read is clear disapproval. Nevertheless, he does not level his sword at you, and he does not take up an aggressive stance. Yet, you also have a distinct impression that he is not here to spar with you, as he has done in the past, to train and talk. He simply looks at you, staring quietly.
I turn to him and I have my head down and I say, for a moment I thought that I wouldn't see you again. And if that was the case, I just wanted to know why. Why did you leave? I mean, I can make out reasons for that, but I wouldn't understand why you would be upset or disappointed by the choices I've made.
Why did you make your choice, old friend?
Because I hadn't finished business that needed to be tended to. I couldn't just go with things being how they were. I couldn't let my family's name and my name go and fade away in that fashion. I had the option, so I chose it. I need to make up for my mistakes in life, and I wouldn't have the opportunity to do so if I were dead. If I was dead.
Prideful is what I call that. Your pride and your sense of shame prevented you from accepting an honorable death. Yes, you had unfinished business. So did I. So have hundreds who came before you. But what you did goes against nature. And this thing that you did it with, I cannot see. It does not exist. No one knows who brought you back or how. Do you have any idea what you've gotten yourself into? I'm worried about you, old friend. This is dangerous what you've done. But I also cannot forgive you because it was wrong. Do you understand what I am telling you?
I do. Is there any way for me to redeem myself? I do understand that it was wrong. And I do ask you for a chance to make up for it.
He looks at you with a hard stare. And he says, every step that you make towards that thing, towards the shard, as I know it, is a step away from everything that we stand for. And every step towards it frays our bond. And there are others that you do not see, that you do not hear, that you do not feel, who must be appeased before I could ever forgive you. Now there is a way, but it will not be easy, old friend.
I'm all ears. I just don't know yet to how extent I have a choice in this situation. I understand that we always have a choice, and making a sacrifice could be the correct choice here, but I cannot see how I'll get out of this situation. I'm sorry, Master.
Relihor sighs, and with heavy footfalls he comes forward, and he stands beside you, looking out over that beautiful vision of a country before the gods fall. And he says, "You're still rushing ahead. You're still trying to take shortcuts. You're still trying to find a way to do everything perfectly. It's not possible, Tarnok. You'll destroy yourself this way. Do you know the most important thing about the values that we hold dear? Do you know?
Not to you, I don't think so.
It's not any single virtue. It's not compassion. It's not justice. It's not honor. It is that we hold true to them, no matter what. Even in our darkest hours. Even in the face of oblivion. That is when you prove who you are. And doing what you did, you proved who you are. And now you have to find a way to break what you did.
Were you there with me, Master?
I was
When he
watching
was
from a
offering me
distance.
Did you listen to what that man had to say? I apologize, sir, but that was an enlightening conversation, and I only decided to take the action that I took because I thought that the one that I was getting in business with was one to be trusted. That was my assessment of that situation, and I do understand that you disagree with me, but I'm just not sure why. What do you know about that man that I don't?
It's the fact that I know nothing, and can know nothing, and find nothing. That is concerning. But that is not for what you need to be forgiven. Your forgiveness is for fleeing your death when you should not have.
Let me ask you one other thing. Why did you decide to show up today? Why did you leave me hanging the last time I tried to contact you?
It was too soon. You needed time.
I understand. And Turnock really is trying to make sense out of all of that and how cornered he is right now and how bifurcated his fate looks like at the moment, you know. Contemplating that situation and he says, Master, you know, I still live bound to the values and to the teachings of the order. And by that I'm bound to you. And I will live my life with the goal of earning your trust in those who are dear to us back. But things are changing, and you walk with me for a long time to know that that is also true. The order is changing, and I would really appreciate if you could also see that side of things. Our loyalty sometimes is too blind. And at this moment, I'm loyal to you and to whatever's holding me imprisoned in this pact, but I just want you to pay close attention to what comes next, because if I'm seeing it, you're also seeing it. You can see that things are changing. You can see that the values that you stood by are not the same anymore. And you need to understand that the changes that come because of this change are not avoidable. If we're standing for the right thing, they're not avoidable. So, I would really appreciate if you could also see that side of things. Our loyalty sometimes is too blind. And at this moment, I'm loyal to you and to whatever's holding me imprisoned in this pact, but I just want you to pay close attention to what comes next, because if I'm seeing it, you're also seeing it. You can see that things are changing. You can see that the values that you stood by are not the same anymore. And you need to understand that the changes that come because of this change are not avoidable. If we're standing for the right thing, they're not avoidable. So I'm not taking my choices and my decision to avoid death lightly, but if what I did is what's going to stray you away from me, I'm not sure if I can do anything to hold that back. I'm sorry.
He continues to stare out over the landscape. And you can see that his expression is set into a sort of glare, but he's thinking throughout all of it. And there's a silence that seems to last ages before he finally turns to you and he says, I do not expect blind loyalty from you, Turnock. I know who you are. But do not mistake the changes of the world for the choices that you make. Your choices are your own, no matter what you face. And sometimes, even if it leads only down one path, you still have to make the right choice. And then he vanishes, and you're left alone on that plateau to contemplate.
Actually, I realized that this might have taken longer than it should, considering that I was, on watch. So I try to just snap out of it as fast as possible when he vanishes, and
Okay.
I'll have time to contemplate about that after my shift.
Okay. Okay, let's go back. I'm gonna drag you back to the main channel. Hello.
Yeah.
Alright. Turnock, your eyes open about 20 minutes later. For the rest of your watch, please make a perception check. Also, hi everyone. How you guys doing?
Hello.
Am I still affected by the hits from the creatures?
Yes.
Back then? Yeah. So disadvantage on perception checks.
Okay.
I should have rolled one of these also back in there because I'm not sure how much of that it was true.
Okay.
Wow.
You hear a lot of disconcerting things throughout the rest of your watch. And the most disconcerting is that 2 times you hear something at least slightly heavy fall in the basement below. Just some object, boom, on the ground. And that's it.
Okay. Who's next in line is
You
JJ?
get to decide, I would say. You can wake someone up for the next watch.
Yeah, that was the agree actually before we went to sleep that JJ would
Yeah, that's true.
take second. So I head out to where JJ's sleeping. I just place a hand on his shoulder and I wait for him to wake up. I'm not just there, and I say just when he wakes up, I just turn to him and say, just be mindful that things are a bit weird here. And I think I heard something falling on the basement. So
All right.
keep an eye out for the cellars too, because we are not supposed to get in, but something may try to come up.
All right. Thanks. Kevin, should I have rolled for dreams before my watch, or shall I do it when I complete my
I would say this counts so far as a short rest, so no.
Okay.
You can roll that when your watch is over.
Okay. Roll for dreams. For the first part of what I wanted to do, I think we don't have to go
Okay.
into private thing, which is I'll take the journal that the lady
Right.
gave me from Lord Sordenbrand. I'll specifically check out the page that she paused on, but my primary goal is to go back to sort of the date or one day before Lord Sordenbrand's departure from the city.
Okay.
And then kind of skimming through what he wrote, tried to get an idea of what sort of was happening in his mind, like what was his goals while in this ensorcelled state. But also, I want to pay specific attention to the passage of time from their arrival on the island to the last entry, because I want to see in his perception how much time had passed while on the island, and try and compare that to our understanding of how long he's been gone.
Okay. For that, I would say make an intelligence check to, because not all the entries are perfectly dated, and especially since they came to the island, it's been a bit more chaotic.
Yeah, so this is still with disadvantage because I'm still exhausted.
Unfortunately.
That's an 8.
That's really hard to say. It kind of
It's
starts.
investigation. It would be 11.
Well, it kind of starts with the entry of the day that they arrived on the island, which has the correct date according to what you can see. But then there's a kind of a warble, and there are several entries that are dated but with question marks. So he tried to keep things straight, but as time passed, it became less and less certain of everything. So at some point you arrive at a date that's like 5 days after they arrived, and then there's a date that's 4 days after they arrived, an entry from later on, and it's quite a mess. It does try to describe the various things that they found on the island. It seems that they even found a village at one point. And then it starts to speculate about the lady, and there's like some slightly like more lucid passages that you find where the writing is also less chaotic, and in those he theorizes about the lady, and that perhaps she can provide passage, and then the final pages are about setting out to find her, and the things that they learned about the island, kind of the things that you guys learned from Svala along the way. And then the final page was most recently penned, no date, but it is a farewell letter to Elena, in which he just explains that he loves her and that he has to do this. He seems to have come to his senses again since finding this place, and that he's leaving this behind in hopes that she'll find out that he tried to do a good thing by doing his best to prevent whatever is in the tower from coming out.
Okay. All right. And then the second thing, which hopefully will be relatively quick. Can you remind me what the name of the lady was? Because I hadn't written it down.
Odeah. Yeah. Odyra.
All right.
You had a second part of the investigation.
I think you covered it, but was trying to piece together the dates, and then what was the final one?
Right, but the entry before he left.
Yes. Yeah.
So the entry before he left is kind of in a different kind of chaos. So it's dated the day before, and it is just a very enthusiastic, kind of childlike description of how it will make him a hero if he prevents the Solarian Isle light from sinking any more ships, and it seems to have played on his ego as well, because despite everything and their loving relationship, there was a sort of seed of insecurity that you read from these pages, that he was standing in his wife's shadow, and he kind of wanted to come out of that again by doing something that he used to do. And you kind of get the impression from him as a whole, and from what Elena has told you as well, that he used to be quite an adventurer. So it was sort of probably suggested to him in the context of reliving his glory days as well.
Right. Okay. And does he make mention of other people, like, kind of setting him on this course, or does he, in the passages, present it as, like, his idea?
He mentions actually several people that that he met that day that he spoke to, but there's no clear indication of someone who put him up to it. It's more like appointments, and then it just suddenly launches into this avalanche of excitement. I will say probably it's too much to read into now, but you flip through a couple of other pages and you do see the name Belmont Sonorius several times.
Yeah.
And you
Who's
gather,
our primary suspect, right?
Yes, and you gather that there is a rather large portion of the pages dedicated to some kind of investigation that he was doing, which you can investigate at some other point, unless you wish to spend all that time now on it.
No, not later.
But yeah. All right.
Okay, so how much did it take me to do this?
I would say that's probably 30 minutes to
30
kind of
minutes,
flip
okay.
through and take your own notes and kind of
Okay.
get an overview.
Great. And then from my memory, when I cast Legend Lore through the ring, how long do I does the experience last? Is it instantaneous, or do I like spend some time
Let me have a
kind
look.
of collecting myself? 'Cause I think the casting time is short, but
Casting time is 10 minutes, so it's pretty much those
Yeah.
10 minutes I think that you would spend
okay.
to learn more.
Okay. I'll cast Legend Lore because I think it's
Okay.
been more than a week
Yes.
since I cast it last, and I'll cast it on Lady Edeah.
Okay. I'm just reading.
And this you can choose, I guess, if you want to like send me at a later time, or
No, that's fine. If the thing you named isn't of legendary importance, you gain no information.
okay.
You gain, unfortunately, no information.
Okay, I mean that's information in and of itself. So, because I was wondering, Jean-Jacques was wondering if she's like this legendary elven queen that or whatever.
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, from
Tell
that
somebody she's-
that bit of information of not getting anything and her general attitude, she seems to live up to some of the stereotypes that exist about
Yeah.
what elves used to be like.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
Yeah.
She looks like a queen just because she's an elf.
Yeah, elves are just,
Yeah.
they just have sticks up their butts.
And then for the second, wait. For the second part, I will go into. Well, I will just go into like a corner of the room that's furthest away from everybody, and then take a private moment to myself. And this I'd like to be.
All right.
Between the two of
So
us.
I'll move you, and we'll be right back, guys. All right. So, 1 second. Let me get all set up here, and there we go. All right. So, what do you do in that private moment?
Before we start, actually, I'll take a look. Are there windows in the house or anything that I can see outside of?
There are 2 windows. One by the door and one like over the sort of kitchen part where you could look
Right.
out over the ocean.
Yeah. So if I look out, is the mist fully surrounding the house, or is it far away?
Interesting. Which window do you look out of? The one that looks over the ocean, or the one near the front
That
door?
one.
Okay.
Yeah, that one.
Okay, so the one over the ocean, you do see a spot of mist, kind of, but it's trailing off of someone, and you see 2 figures standing side by side on the cliffside overlooking the ocean, completely black because the moonlight is coming from the other side.
Okay.
But
Okay, I'll curse under my breath shortly, but if I situate myself right next to that window, is there like maybe an ocean breeze coming off of the ocean or something that I can feel on my face?
if you open the window,
If I open the window, yeah.
I would say so, yeah.
Okay, alright, so I'll open the window, and then I'll sit right in front of it, kind of crisscross,
Okay.
leg style. And then I'll unbutton my Archmage's robes. And very carefully, I'll take the timepiece off of my chest. And cupping it sort of in both of my hands, I'll stare at it for like a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Just kind of studying it very closely, looking at all of the intricate carvings and, how because the it's moving now, right? It's a functioning timepiece. If I
It is, I
Or-
think. Let me
yeah.
double check real quick. It is now. No, it is at 9:46.
9:46. So I'll
You know the time. Well, normally you would know the time. Currently, unfortunately, it's still muddled.
yeah, I do stare at that time a little bit and remember our sort of soiree with Edeah in the realm. Then I'll place it on the ground, and I'll take a piece of chalk that I have from drawing magical circles and maybe what I've been using to teach Turnok, and around it I will just draw a very basic magical rune or a circle that is used in rituals like for amplification magic. Of course,
Right.
not functionally, right? I'm not utilizing anything. It's more just like
Yeah. Okay.
something that might aid me in
Yeah.
what I'm attempting to do.
Okay.
And as I set it down, I will focus, and feeling the breeze on myself, I'll kind of place both my hands, palms down next to the circle, and using my sort of innate abilities to sort of control the elements, I'll try and harness that energy without releasing it, so kind of as if I'm about to control the wind.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to through meditation kind of get in touch with my magical essence
Okay.
in a way. And I'll close my eyes and I'll say under my breath, sort of, but for the purposes of you hearing me, I'll speak normally. I'll just say, I know that you're not one to communicate directly, that you prefer to God through different means, and well, if I'm being perfectly honest, I'm not very good at this part. But on tomorrow we will prepare to embark on a very dangerous endeavor, and I know what you have said your goals to be. Even though we haven't met personally, I trust that the words that came to me were the ones that you said. And I believe that in this our goals are aligned. If this tower is truly the habitat of some entity pre-God's fall that poured into this world during that time of chaos, I believe that it is of great interest to you that we rid this world of it. And in this moment, before we set out, before I go to sleep, I would ask that you look upon us tomorrow, and you grace us with your presence and attention and aid us in removing this evil, because, well, quite frankly, even though I showed a brave face, I'm not sure that we're up to the task.
You hear.
And I'm attempting to commit. Okay.
Yeah. You hear the creak of wood as the door behind you opens. It smacks gently against the table that was standing behind the door. And in walks a demure-looking woman of difficult to determine race, but somewhere human, half-elf maybe. And she steps in. Her hair is brownish copper, and altogether is just a huge tangle of curls and messiness. She wears slightly large spectacles on a strong nose, and has an otherwise unremarkable face, save for those eyes. Her eyes are a clear gold color. Their gaze is piercing, and looking into them at any moment is like looking into an endless depth, a well of knowledge. She walks in confidently, slightly bored looking, and no one around you reacts. The other Ashenhearts continue to sleep, even when she pulls up a chair, scraping it across the ground, and speaks as she sits down close beside you. You know, I'm a very busy woman, Mr. Chopin.
Well, I understand that, and I bow very deeply as I say this.
Oh, sit.
Sit down. I understand. Very thankful for this moment.
Yeah. So, let me get this right. You're sitting here, facing this big, bad problem, and you decided to bother someone that isn't your friend, isn't your god, isn't your patron, isn't really anything to you because you decided you didn't want that sort of weight around your neck. And she looks at the pocket watch. And you decided that after the great favor I already did you, not too long ago, according to my reckoning, although around here that's a bit off, to ask me for more again without anything coming back to help me. Did I get that right?
Well, I'd say almost. I was very thankful for the favor that you've done me and my friends.
You're right. You were very thankful. Let me take that to the bank.
He actually laughs. And he says, well, this is very refreshing. I didn't expect this type of conversation. No, I don't expect you to do this out of merely the goodness of your heart. I do believe that there is something in it for you, just in terms of, well, us taking care of this problem, according to my understanding, which I, well, must admit is most likely flawed and incomplete.
It is.
But I am a man that is used to making deals and has, well, paid his dues in some ways and in some ways has not, so I am willing to trade.
See, you make it sound so dirty.
I didn't mean it that way.
She looks around the room. Where's the angry, ugly one? The one that came in last time and told me to sod off.
He's been taken over to his land and imprisoned, probably to be trialed.
Well, you'd be surprised, but I do do things out of the goodness of my heart. And I'll admit I like your style better than the other one. But I will admit, if I help you, I need you to help me with something in return once you get back to the city. Do you think you can do that?
Well, I can certainly try.
It's another pocket watch. Someone got their hands on one that shouldn't have. Well, that's a whole bigger issue, but someone that you can deal with.
If it is indeed someone that you deem we can deal with, then yes, I can do that.
Good. You're sure about this? That thing in the tower is... You weren't going to succeed without the help of someone like me. And you might still not.
He kind of like thinks for a bit, you know. He says, "Sure? No. Sure that I need to try? Yes."
She stands up and she walks over to the window and watches the two figures outside, and you realize they are frozen in time, and in fact everything around you is frozen in time. And she just kind of tuts for a moment as she looks at them, and then turns back to you, leaning both elbows like in the window. And it's strange because she has so much confidence and even swagger, but if you look at her, I mean, she's just a normal kind of mousy librarian type, but the swagger is that of someone very different. And she looks at you and she says, "Why? Why do you have to try? I can send someone else."
He looks her in those, like, bottomless pits for eyes and says, I'm not sure how far your clairvoyance stretches, how much you've seen or, well, we're interested in seeing.
It's not
But I've
exact
done-
science.
He kind of nods, like, I can understand that. I've done many things in my life at the behest of others. Many things that, well, many people would consider evil and bad. And I have found as of late that there's a feeling that comes with doing something just because it's the right thing. I've never known before. Well, not never, but very rarely. And these, kind of points to the group. These assholes have, kind of instilled this feeling in me, and I've seen the aftermath, even though I was very young. I've seen the early days of the God's Fall, and if this thing is loosened upon the world again, well, I'd just be fucking damned if I didn't try to stop it first.
I mean, that's fair. On the other side, I will say, if you don't do something, someone else will. It's just going to be less immediate.
Mm.
It's all a calculation.
Yeah.
1 + 1 is 2. Bad thing happens. Good people try to stop it. It always happens. It's just that you're closer, currently better suited to try something than anyone else.
Right. Well, there is the matter of Lord Sortenbrand, of course, and that benefiting us in the long term. And I can say that I quite like the idea of Jean-Jacques Dupois, the hero. So there is a mote of selfishness in it all. Well, probably more than a mote, if I'm being truly honest. And there's a chance that I might perish trying to do the right thing, and that wouldn't be so bad.
Well, I'm convinced. Alright. Let's see. She thinks for a moment, looking out, or rather walking over and looking out of the other window, from which you can still see a faint beam of light from the tower that's always on the horizon. And she's quiet for a little while. And she says, "Alright. You have the timepiece, so at least one of you has access to some of my power. There's something down there that the wizard used to stabilize things. Consider it a doorstop. Someone is trying to push open the door, and the wizard put a doorstop in the way. You need to find that doorstop and empower it. And through that, I'll be able to help you."
Right. In the tower, you mean?
In the tower. It's a bit of technology that's like the timepiece, but also not. It's already threatening to fail, so you'd best get to it quickly. But if you get your hands on it, you have a chance.
Understood.
Good. And you better succeed, because I need you back in the city.
I'll do my darndest. They will as well.
I know you will. She looks over at the others for a moment longer, and you can see that she distinctly frowns at Turnock. But then she goes to the door. She opens it. She looks back over to you.
Okay. As she looks back, I'll just try and say, may I ask you a question? Just one final one. And
Sure.
Why do you want to take things back to the way they were? It doesn't seem to quite... Well, I don't know. Just seems a little bit strange that you'd be trying to, well, take everything back to the way it was if you already have so much power and influence.
Now that's cute. You think that I wouldn't be doing this. That I'm like one of the other idiots that you've been talking to. Let me put it this way. Have you ever seen... Well, you've probably seen a storm knock over a tree. But very rarely, that tree doesn't die. And instead, when it regrows, it grows sideways. Doesn't grow right. That's fine for a tree. The God's Fall was our storm. It broke our world. And now our world is growing sideways. But for a world, that's not right. A world needs to grow straight. The way it's supposed to. That's all I'm trying to do. But it takes a lot more than cutting down the tree to right that wrong.
Thank you.
She nods, walks out the door. The door closes, and immediately time resumes. And I'll drag us back to the other...
Jean-Jacques starts sweating.
Okay.
Colloquially as go.
Hello. Sorry for interrupting. Alright, well, thank you guys for your patience, first of all.
Welcome back.
I know that it's not ideal to have two lengthy solo parts, but I appreciate your patience. And Jean-Jacques sweating, please make a perception check for the rest of your...
By the way, Nicola, can we or should we watch the VOD, or should we skip that?
I will leave it up to your discretion, but I personally think it's better if you don't, because it will be more,
Okay.
serious, but...
Makes sense?
Already forgot about it then.
Yep, exactly.
Well,
Sleeping.
perception check.
As far as
12.
we know.
Okay, yeah, you are sleeping. Okay, similar to Turnock, you hear several sounds, both outside of, trees down the path and down the hill, sometimes a branch breaking off, strange sounds in the woods, and then from down in the cellar, you hear once something falling, and twice something scraping. Not too dissimilar from the chair being dragged across the floor, but distant and obviously different kind of floor. That's it.
Right. I'm gonna pretty much just kind of chill for the rest of my watch, and then I'm gonna go and wake up Barnack for the third watch.
Okay.
And I wake him up, shake him awake. And I'll say,
It's time to go into the cellar.
no, Barnack, no, fucking no, it's your time.
I know, Jean-Jacques. I'm kidding. No.
Before I go to sleep, listen. Time is different on this island. I haven't figured it out yet, but things are happening at a different speed here, okay? Which means that it's quite likely that we have spent more time here than we think. which means we don't have a lot of time before we need to get to Cora's father. Okay?
Oh shit.
So any delays, like us fucking over the lady and not getting her help and getting to the tower, can mean that Cora's father doesn't end up getting the help he needs.
Jack, I will not open the cellar. I was kidding.
Okay. I trust you.
This is the first time I had a good night's sleep in a while. This lady gave me a bed.
True.
I won't go into the cellar.
All right.
Unless she promises like rivers of alcohol there, and she didn't, so I don't care.
True. Yeah, find quite unlikely that that'll be the case.
If I hear rivers down there, I'll wake you up before I go.
Alright. Awesome. Well, I'll go to sleep then. Got a long way to go tomorrow, and I have a feeling that this is going to be our toughest challenge yet.
We'll see. I don't know, Jean-Jacques. 3 spider drakes weren't really that easy, but we'll see.
Yeah, he kind of said, nods, says, yeah, I feel like this is going to be something else entirely.
Perfect.
Yeah. When we get back to Pastizia, by the way, might need your help in dealing with something.
Yeah. Count on me.
Thanks. And I'll turn to go to sleep. As imagine maybe Barnack turns away, Jean-Jacques' eyes just briefly go to the ring on his finger, and there's this like intense look on his face of pure lust. And then he turns away and goes to sleep.
Okay. So Barnack,
If I see it, I would do like,
He was careful for you not to see.
yeah.
Barnack, you have gained inspiration. So thank you, Simon, for
Thank you.
that. It says inspiration for Barnack to go into the cellar, but of course you are free to use it for whatever you like.
Darn it.
In any case, I would like you to roll your perception check.
I shall. Let me just open my character sheet. I forgot, of course. Character sheet. Wait, where's core? Okay, bio, no core. There it is. Perception +5. Let's see. That is 23.
Okay. So you are able to very clearly distinguish between the sounds outside and the sounds from the cellar. Outside, you hear nothing out of the ordinary. A few sounds that would be strange to less trained ears than yours, but these are just the sounds of a forest. In fact, they are unusually normal for what you've come to expect of this island.
Mm-hmm.
From the cellar, it begins quite early, as you hear very, very faintly things scraping across the ground or being dragged across the ground far below. You suspect that maybe the cellar is about 60, 70 feet deep, and that there is perhaps somewhat of a climb. As this goes on, you start to hear this kind of tapping sound of something wood hitting stone, just repeatedly, bam, bam, bam. About an hour into your watch, you could swear that you heard a slight giggle. Just a very slight giggling sound. Not quite normal, but also not close enough for you to distinguish what's strange about it.
Was it like the same voice from the lady, or was it?
No,
something else?
it was a very physical kind of thing. The lady and ghosts in general that you've encountered have a sort of like ethereal quality in
Yeah, like
their
an
voice.
echo or something.
Yeah, has a slight sense of not being quite from this plane. This is very much here, and it's not something that is echoing up from the cellar very clearly. It's just like somewhere in some corner of that cellar there was something that giggled.
Okay, so I would like to use my it's called primal awareness or
Right.
something like that.
Mhm.
Before primeval awareness, because
Okay.
I can I can expend another spell slot because I'm getting it back in a bit. I hope.
Sure.
And are we still? Is this still considered a coast or is it now a forest? A forest, right?
It is a forest, I would say.
Yeah. Okay. So then, for 1 minute, I can sense the following types of creatures 1 mile away from me: aberrations, celestial, dragons, elemental, fae, fiend, or undead.
For a moment, you have exactly the same impression that you had when you did it on the beach. Despite the distances involved and the island being quite large, you again have that aberration and just a wave of undead. But then your senses kind of hone in. There is... You are essentially swimming in a sea of undeath currently. With most of it right below you. And that's it.
Even, yeah, like... Okay.
Jesus.
Okay. Shit. Okay, I will,
There's knocking on the hatch.
Where? On the hatch?
Mm-hmm.
I'll look at the hatch and say, no, 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 no. And I'll go immediately to Jean-Jacques, and I won't wake him up gently. I'll, like, actually, like... Oh, Jean-Jacques. Jean-Jacques?
What a fuck!
Shut up!
I imagine that wakes up the others as well.
Yeah, I expect to be awake at this time.
Shut up. There's someone knocked on the hatch. I said I won't go in, but what if something comes out? All of us should be ready.
Why'd you wake us up?
Knocking on the hatch from below. Do you know if it's locked? I don't know if it's locked. Told me not to touch it.
Yeah, I mean, let's just if something comes out, then wake us up.
I'll stand on the hatch. Does
Yeah.
the hatch actually look like it's opening outside or to the inside?
It opens up, so towards you.
Yeah, so I'll stand on the hatch then.
Okay.
I will stand on the hatch and let the others sleep.
Okay. Tani
And if
or...
there's knocking, I'll just do this and be like
Yes.
la 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 la.
It continues to
I
knock
will.
every...
I will sing the same song Tani and I did in Watchfold.
Okay.
Myself.
Okay.
You know, at this point, wherever I'm resting, I'm not, actually sleeping anymore. I'm just sitting with my arms crossed, just looking at Barnick above the hatch. And I ask him, any hints or any ideas on what's beneath us?
I think undead. A lot of it.
That
Like
several or really
like
big?
everything is undead. Like the la la la. Like the whole
Is there a
island.
way to
is
lock
undead.
that? Is it locked?
I'm the locked now.
Yeah, I stand up and I go towards Bornek and I check as he's standing up on the hatch. I'm checking if it's locked or not. If
There's
it's
no lock,
visible.
it's just a hatch.
Arnok, bring that table over. We'll put the
No,
table over.
you know what, Bornek? I just say if he wants to get out, let him get out. Our orders was not to get into the hedge. That was all. Get out of there.
Yeah, sure, but
If it wanted to get out and could, would it fucking knock?
guys, I understand that you're still sleepy, but if something gets out and you guys are sleeping, it might kill you.
I'm not sleeping, Barnek. I'm here and ready. Just
Not
it's my
sleeping
time.
might kill me.
Yeah,
And if it's knocking, then it's right there on the other side.
I'll
it's
start
right
singing
here.
a lullaby. We need Jean-Jacques. Didn't you tell me that we need our strength to go forward?
Yes.
Go to sleep,
Okay.
and everyone else rest.
Just immediately he's dead.
yeah. I mean, I'm in the same posture that I described before,
Mm-hmm.
but with my eyes closed, just resting like this.
Sit
And,
cross-legged against the wall. So, yeah, similar.
There is no knocking sound for me. There is no knocking sound for me, and I will not open the hatch, whatever happens.
Okay.
Turnock just gives its work and asks, "Have you tried asking who it is?" And eyes closed still, just messing around with one a little bit.
Okay. All right. So, am I correct in that you guys are going back to sleep for the rest of Barnack's watch?
Yeah, we need that rest, man.
Okay.
I really need it badly.
So, Barnack, for the rest of your watch, every 20 to 30 seconds, someone knocks 4 times at the hatch beneath your feet.
There. Fuck. How much would I be able to?
Nobody would knock anymore.
Yeah. No, I'll.
You have about 40 minutes of this in total to listen to before
Yeah.
you can lie down.
I'll try to persevere. I will
Okay.
try to not open the hatch, and if the only thing that might change the way I'm looking at it right now would be if I actually heard voices, like someone talking directly to us.
Okay.
But apart from that, only knocking, I'll wait.
Alright, so you get through the rest of your watch, no voices, just knocking. And with the perception roll that you had, in between, you do continue to hear the other sounds from down below. Things dragging across the floor, sometimes
It's
something
still
heavy.
something knocking.
Yes, there's still something knocking.
Okay.
But in between, things falling to the ground, sometimes things being dragged, sometimes just generally activity down there.
Yeah. Before I wake up Tani, I will take a table or something and push it over the hatch. Just
Okay,
so
I mean, there's only one table, so you can move the dining table.
sure, or
Okay.
something like even a plant, or if there's anything that's a bit heavy, like something, a table will work. So
Yeah, a table would probably be the most
yeah.
economical thing. But you do notice that even in the time that you are away to move something on top of it, it knocks, but it doesn't push against the hatch, it doesn't try to open it,
Yeah.
it just knocks.
Yeah.
I'll
Give me
still do
2
that.
minutes.
Sure.
Yeah. I'll
So,
still do that.
Alright.
And before I go to sleep, I would just like to. Kevin, remind me. The lady told us everything is fine except going down the hatch.
yeah, don't. I think she said don't
Yeah.
open the center.
Yeah. Can I just go outside for just a moment and to like look over the horizon and everything, and just to see how everything looks
Sure.
at the moment before I
Can
wake
definitely
up Tani.
open the front door.
Yeah.
As you do, you briefly catch sight of 2 shapes to your right, standing on the cliffside. But the moment that you appear, one blinks out, and the other one fades into mist.
One blinks out.
Yes, just whoop,
Does it-
disappears.
Does it look like the mist shapes, like the ones we already seen, or was it something more corporeal?
No, they were 2 tall figures. Looked quite solid.
Okay. Okay. That. Yeah, I slowly close the door.
Okay.
I will go wake up Tani and say, Tani.
Is it my
it's a very-
turn?
Yeah, it's a very calm night. The knocking that you hear, pretend it's not there for the next few hours. Please. It will keep knocking. Whatever it does, it's from the hatch. Jean-Jacques said not to open it, so I'll try not to open it. The other part, there were 2 figures on the ledge, on the cliffside, far away from, on the other cliffside. And they were corporeal, they were solid. Yeah, don't mind that. So, good luck! And you can wake me up if something happens, but I need sleep as well.
Yeah, okay. I'll wake you
Yeah.
guys up.
Yeah, sorry, Tani.
Barnack falls
Um,
asleep standing.
Yeah.
Okay, did Barnack place something on the hatch then?
Yes, the dining table.
Okay. So I don't need to sit on top of that. Okay. I'll sit right beside it, like on the side where it opens.
Okay.
There, just in case something peeks through. Or
Okay.
yeah, I'll sit cross-legged, and I'll try not to mind it.
All right. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Ooh, a 23.
Nice.
Funny.
So, pretty much identical to Barnack. In between the frequent knocking, you hear the sound of things being dragged across the ground. Sometimes every 20 minutes or so, something heavy thumps. You also once hear distinctly the sound of something wooden breaking, but nothing comes up. You are just...
I flinched and would have seen in case it's the table right here for some
Okay.
reason.
No, it's much
not
more
the
distant.
table.
It's all coming from the hatch down below. But along the way, for 2 hours, you are accompanied only by... Is there anything you want to do?
After maybe half an hour, I think in the hopes of distracting myself, I would have padded my things and maybe getting out the book I was trying to read, the Manual of Gainful Exercise, and see if I can get distracted by reading and I'll be like, I kind of forgot about this. Oh no.
Okay.
And yeah,
So
try
you,
to open and read.
you try to read. I will say make an intelligence check to see how focused you can remain.
Oh wow. Okay, I'll use an inspiration point, I think.
Okay.
I could be smarter than that.
Jesus. I have actually been knocking. It's not fun.
Knocking is distracting.
Yeah.
17 now.
Okay. So you do manage to... You said after about half an hour, right? So you do manage to read 1.5 hours of your manual of gainful exercise. Okay. And then about the last 15 minutes or so, outside you see a glimmer of light from the west as the sun begins to rise. And the moment that you see it, the knocking stops. And you can all awaken, have some of your rations as breakfast, and decide what you want to do.
I'll tell them as soon as the sun started peeking through, the knocking stopped. Do you think they went to sleep?
I don't know if these things sleep, but
Maybe they're nocturnal, you know?
yeah. But sleeping is pretty. It's a pretty objective action. In the end, I don't think the undead, as Barnack described, sleep. I don't know.
Yeah,
Should we
perhaps
ask
they're
her?
resting.
Should we ask her? Or shouldn't we just? Or should we just forget about it? Right?
I think it's best for us to count our blessings and just
That's true.
leave this
But
place be.
she didn't say anything about asking. We could
She
just
didn't.
ask.
I mean, if you're interested, I
Well, you
won't
didn't
stop
hear
you. but
knocking for 2 hours non-stop. I still hear it in my head.
I did not.
Tuck, 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 tuck.
As you guys
Yeah,
are
I don't
talking
know.
and coming to consciousness and probably having your breakfast, anyone who looks outside through the window by the door can see that the lady is there, standing quietly, looking out over the path, the way that you found her first when you arrived, seemingly waiting for you to emerge whenever you're ready.
Well, we should not keep her waiting.
Yeah, and the
Yes.
tower as well.
Yeah, I just pack up my things and
How's
head
everyone
out for
feeling?
dinner. Well, rested, Kevin?
Yeah, You're rested as if you have no effects that prevent that. I will also say, because I asked Chansey this before we started, Myra has currently prepared several letters that are folded, but they look quite well read. And she's just kind of, looking at them, I suppose with some sadness, in preparation of giving them to the lady as her personal item / secret.
Oh, right.
Oh, I forgot
Shit,
about that.
I forgot about that.
And that was my
Yeah,
gentle reminder.
Yeah.
I'll turn to everyone and say, guys, when she said that we need to give her something that's important to us, this is important. Can we give something that is only symbolic? I'm not giving her my bow.
Well, I think Lord Swordenbrand gave her the diary.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, contains a lot of information that might become useful along the way, but I think it was probably special because the last entry was dedicated to Elena. So I would imagine that something personal, something that means a lot to you, even while not perhaps functional, could do the trick. And he kind of puts a hand over his heart, where there's a pocket inside.
Jacques, you're not giving her your heart.
Well, I don't think that's valuable to anybody. Gives a smile.
Yeah,
You
and
don't dare.
Turnok rolls his eyes like, obviously. So, yeah, as I'm packing up my things and, I'm just sitting in that samurai meditative stance, just looking at all my things, and I grab, because I was still carrying it, walking with it, but I do have a longer look at my old sword that has been with me since I was graduated in the order, and that's no longer bound to Relihor. So yeah, and that's been with me for like 15 years now, so I think that should do the trick.
Okay. Very
I think
good.
I'll give her my short sword too, because I stopped using it since a while ago. I think I'm trusting a little bit more on my hands, my
But does
power.
your short sword have any meaning to you? Because that's the
It
thing. It should leave
maybe
something that we will miss.
the last time I used it, it was important, I guess, because we were tripping in the ship. I cut one of the ghosts with it, protecting Barnack.
Do you
yeah.
really? I mean,
I think I used it for important things.
I'm Turnok just looking at Tiny like, I just hope this doesn't fuck us up, but he doesn't actually say anything.
Well, I think she simply won't
uh,
accept it if it's not worthy,
yeah.
and then you can rethink your choice. But
She looks nervously towards where I stash my gloves, my cursed gloves,
Yeah.
that nobody knows that I still have.
I can't, Kevin. Let me ask you this question and you guys might remember as well, but I'm having a hard time. The silver coin, the bloody silver coin. I found that, and I could carry that over through the Dreamland, right? The bloody silver coin was something that the coin toss that decided if I would kill myself back there, and it's still with me. That's still with me. So I considered using that, but if she does not accept the sword, that's what I'm giving to her, because it does have a pretty big significance.
Let's talk to her then, and let's not ask then about the cellar. I've had enough of knocking. I would really like to know what's down there, especially. Oh, by the way, I didn't tell you guys, but while you were out, I also performed my awareness that I can do.
Ledge King awareness.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there's a lot of undeath below that cellar door.
But they stopped knocking, so
It stopped knocking when it became bright, I guess. I don't know. I'm curious, but don't think I'm that curious today. I don't like this island.
We've got
Yeah, we have tower. We have a tower that you guys say might be some. There might be something worse there. I don't care about the cellar then. Unless
Last time
we
a
end
hatch
up in it.
opened. Last time a hatch opened, we had a bad time. So
That's
What?
very true.
quiet. Let's just stay away from hatches forever.
Yep. Yeah,
No
no
more
more
hatches.
hatches.
Never again.
That means you can't
Tell
hatch
her-
any plans.
Turnock's
would-
still suspicious, and he still wants to get. Like, he's not trusting that things are how they are right now. So, you know, he has that weird impression that whatever they're looking for is not actually where she's guiding them, but more so where they are right now. So perhaps our goal is that hatch. But that's just, you know, his thoughts. He's not sharing that with anyone. He's just proceeding with extra caution because he's really doubtful
Okay.
about what's going on right now.
So, do I gather then that you all step outside
Yeah.
towards Lady
Yeah.
Edeah? Okay. As the door opens, she turns around and she comes to meet you in front of the house. You can see that she's still, her face is still kind of settled into that sad expression, but there are no more tears on her cheeks. And she looks at each of you. She nods. Have you rested well?
Thankfully, yes. Thank you for the shelter.
Very good.
But whatever's in there is unease. Just so you know.
You did well.
Put a table over the hatch so you don't have to.
You can
Worry
see
about
that
the
she like stifles a slight smile. You weren't in any danger as long as you kept it closed.
Yeah.
Now, in order for me to grant you my blessing and allow you to traverse the island without the impediments that everyone else faces, I need a way to connect with you, which is what I spoke of yesterday. Have you prepared something that you can share or give to me?
I take my old sword from my belongings, and I don't know how this connection would work, ma'am, but if you'd like, I can give you a brief explanation on why this item is so valuable to me, even now that it's not being used anymore for the purpose that what it was conceived.
Okay. She comes up before you, and she holds up her hands, and as you're like handing it over to her, she kind of, you get the impression she wants you to hold on to it for a moment as well, and she nods and she says, "Please tell me, why is this important to you?"
So this was the sword I was gifted by the Order of the Locked Heart and you can see that Turnock is looking for words that are not technical, you know.
Yeah.
For him to explain. When I finished my training in the Order of the Locked Heart, this sword has been with me for the past 15 years. And it's been my one of my closest companions, and housed to one of my closest companions for a while. But now, considering the dangers that we are facing, I decided to pick power over tradition when it comes to the weapon I bear. So this sword is nothing but a memento, memorabilia, something for me to remember where I came from and where I'm heading to. And I would gladly give that to you if it would help us achieve our purpose and our goal.
She looks at the sword, and she looks you in the eye, and she nods. Thank you. I will treasure it, and I will watch over it, and I bless
Thank
you. And as she says that, nothing physically changes, but you feel a certain embrace almost. You gain advantage on wisdom saving throws while you are on the island.
Mm-hmm.
And you can indeed walk through the mist unharmed and without losing your way. So congratulations. She looks at the sword, and then she actually walks into the house, deposits it, and then comes back outside. Stands
Do we hear
before the
a
group.
table scraping being moved out of the way?
No. But as you look back into the house, that table's not on the hatch. It's just standing where it was previously.
Fuck the hatch.
Who's next?
Suppose I'll go next. And as he approaches, Jean-Jacques puts his hand inside of his robes and out of a inside pocket pulls a piece of cloth that is sort of like velvet and kind of purplish color. It has a little bit of gold embroidery across the edges, and in very fine script it just has the letter E inscribed in one of the corners. And on the opposite sides there are several patches of deep kind of burgundy red color that he produces and puts forward towards the lady, and he says, this is a memory. It's a reminder of loss and love and connection to somebody and of lessons learned. It is very dear to my heart, and I have not parted ways with it in over 20 years.
She looks at it. She inclines her head. She says, "Thank you. I will treasure this. And you have my blessing." And you feel the same sensation wash over you as she heads into the house. Disappears from you. Like, the door is open, you can see inside, and yet she's nowhere to be seen when you look. But when she comes back out again, the piece of cloth is not there. She looks at the others. I will say that at this point, Myra will step forward, have a similar exchange as she hands over the letters, and I suppose I'll ask Chansey to inform us next week what the words are that Myra shares, or if she tries to say them only privately to the lady. But in any case, those letters are also taken inside, and she emerges, looking at Tani and Barnak.
Tani? Do you want to go first? Or should I?
I was waiting on you going first, but if you want me to go.
That's okay. I'll go first then. I'll step up to her and I will produce a very small wooden carving, a small lucky charm that I have.
Okay.
And since it's, let's say, quite small, I'll basically take it with 2 fingers and
Right. present
it to her. Yeah. And say, this is probably the most valuable thing I have. And it is the last physical memory of my grandfather.
She takes it from you and she looks at it closely. It's beautiful. Thank you. I will treasure this. And you
Please.
have my blessing. She inclines her head, goes into the house, comes back out without the figurine, and stands before Tani.
Okay, I'll take out my short sword, present it like this, and I'll say, I used this a lot when I was training as a freelancer, and when I was training as a freelancer, I made friends with two of the most important people in my life, Kor and Barnek. And last time I used this, I used it to defend a friend when we were both in trouble. Or at least we both thought we were in trouble. We were in trouble. I'll part with it gladly. If you'll take it.
Okay. She takes the sword, the short sword from you, looks it over for a slightly longer time. Then she looks at you and she says, "Thank you. I will treasure this. You have my blessing." She heads into the house, and when she comes out this time, once again has nothing on her. The door closes behind her, and she looks at each of you. Please be careful.
We will do our best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm
Okay,
muted.
yes.
Sorry. I was going to ask her, at this point, ma'am, should we just follow what our eyes are telling us where the
Yes.
tower is?
You can go straight now.
By the way, at this point, Turnock's head is just going over and over and over his choice of words when delivering the sword. I choose power over tradition. Those words are just, going around his head over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, that was quite an interesting moment.
Yeah.
As you guys gear up to leave, she walks off to the side and she beckons Jean-Jacques a bit closer.
I walk over.
She lowers her voice and she speaks a few sentences to you that I will send you on Discord.
Okay.
And let's see if you want to follow up or if that is sufficient.
You'll just nod and thank her.
Okay. Then you all set out down the hill, her standing at the top. Yeah?
Just a question. When we set out, may I just after 10, 20, whenever we get a bit away from the house, may I just come back to her for a moment?
Sure, you can definitely turn around. And,
I'll tell everyone. I'll be back in a second, guys.
okay. Do you want this to be private?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
I'll come back, and if she's there, I'll just ask her. When we finish whatever it is we're going, may we get these things back?
She smiles, surprisingly brightly, and it's not the strange shifting of features that was happening the previous night. She just smiles. If you are able to, I would be most pleased if you came to claim them again.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I'll walk away again.
Alright. So you guys set out in the direction of the tower that looms on the horizon, that enormous stone structure at the top of which, even in the daylight, rests a luminescent globe that is so much brighter than it has any right to be. And you start to travel towards it. Although time continues to be somewhat vague, is the best way I can describe it. After some time, with the sun crossing part of the sky and then seemingly stopping as you get close to the tower, you see, as you're passing through the mist, you see the end of the mist, and you emerge at the bottom of the hill on which the tower is built, and you climb a short distance, and I'm going to move you to the appropriate map so that you can see what you are looking at.
I'm just hands on my waist, just admiring the tower, just
Okay.
looking up and down. And I say to Jean-Jacques, I say, I hope Svala actually told the crewmates that, that time here flows differently. So I just hope we're not stranded here forever.
And as
Jean-Jacques doesn't respond because he's shocked at what he sees.
Yes, so
it's just like staring, complete utter shock.
So as Jean-Jacques is staring, indeed what comes into shape is the tower itself, surrounded by small floating shapes, all of them moving together like a sort of undulating wave of living tissue. Their slightly translucent forms hanging outside of the mist close to the tower and facing it. And every so often you see one kind of moving closer as a small green vapor escapes from a crack in the tower here or there, and it sucks it up as if it's sustenance, and then it moves back. And they seem to surround it on all sides. And you see no door, no opening, no windows. It is completely smooth around the outside. Outside of the stonework has cracks, but there's no windows or anything.
I check up with Jean-Jacques. Is the rapier still with you? Might be useful.
Yeah. I still got it. And you can see, like, this is one of the rare occurrences where Jean-Jacques just completely, like, this is anathema to him, what he sees in front of himself.
So,
yeah, I still have it.
Yeah. Stay put with that. And Turnok's plan is actually to go around as far as possible, maintaining a good perimeter away from these beasts and these creatures.
Okay.
But to try to investigate around the tower if we're missing something, if there is a door or a window or something.
Okay.
Anything that could be used as an entry point. So I would, just circle the tower.
Okay. Are you trying to be stealthy about that for any particular reason, or are you just kind of staying far away enough that you don't think that they will?
I'm staying far away enough, but stealthy would be a good idea, so yes.
Okay. In that case, go ahead and roll a stealth check.
Mm-hmm.
Did you indicate that we should let you do this alone, or?
No, I'm just, this is a 10.
Okay.
Actually, it's with disadvantage.
Yeah, because you have heavy armor on, right?
Yeah. It's a 7.
Okay.
So, not very stealthily. I just indicate to them, I'll say, we should circle the tower and see if we found an entry point. Otherwise, and I look to Barnack, I think we found an utility for that first mission.
22 with disadvantage on stealth.
Nice.
I would like to see that tower up close.
Up close? No, we're not getting up close.
No. I said I would like to see it. I won't approach it, but I have something bothers me. That stone is far too smooth for a tower like this.
Really? Is that what's bothering you, Barnack? The smoothness of the stone?
Yes, I really like and enjoy stonework.
What do you mean,
So-
Barnack?
Well, the last time I remember seeing smooth stone was down in the thingy where the big serpent told us where the cultists were.
Oh,
I'll have a pebble
That's
from
it.
that, and I'll take out the pebble. Does that look similar, like stonework, similar stonework? Or
No.
Jesus.
No clear similarities to your dwarven eye.
Okay.
What an obscure reference. Congratulations to the player, Milosh.
Yeah, I'm carrying that pebble. I'm carrying that pebble and trying to find a professor of archaeology, by the way, to talk to them about it.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
whenever we go to the Republic,
Yeah.
not to the Republic, but to the old Empire, well, perhaps my parents will have a good insight on that. You could ask them.
We shall
Yeah.
see. In any case, so Barnack, you are comparing stone. Jean-Jacques and Turnock are both, I'm guessing, splitting up in order to cover the perimeter.
Yeah. I'm guessing.
Tani and Barnack, besides the stone comparison, what are you two doing?
How tall is the tower?
You're not sure. Really, really tall. Make a perception check to see if you can make a guesstimate.
+5.
By the way, are those effects that the creatures apply to us still?
That's a good question. Since the blessing, you are no longer affected by anything from the mist.
Right before I leave,
Oh, so we no longer have snake heads and
No. Those have gone.
19.
19.
Perception.
Okay. It is about 100 meters tall.
Good. 300 feet tall then. About.
Just
300
about,
feet.
yeah.
Okay. I like elbow Tani. Tani, do you remember Ashheart? Do you remember our first strategy? Shoot an arrow that has a rope tied to it.
No,
Oh, yeah.
no.
We
You're
might
not
be
there.
able to not.
Yeah. Yeah, to escape quickly if we need it.
Yeah, if we
Yes.
take rope from everyone, I think I have two batches of rope, and if I
Mhm.
take your rope and Jean-Jacques' rope and Turnock's rope, that's about 300 feet of rope or something like that. We could try to find our own entry if there's no door. It worked out last time.
Mm-hmm.
having walked off by about 20 paces, Jean-Jacques turns around, and not because of the conversation, but just because he remembered something, and joins the two of them. And he's like, Barnack, do you think you could take a look around with me and see if there are any tracks? Because I believe that there are no, to the best of our understanding, there are no like live-in residents on this tower, so whichever way Lord Sordenbrand approached should, in theory, still have his footprints or
Yeah.
tracks of some kind,
That
unless there
works.
was a storm or something to clear them. But
That works. Just a moment, Jean-Jacques, and I'll give Tani my two 50 feet long hempen ropes, and I'll be like, honey, can you make the knots?
Yeah.
You're much better at it. Well, I know the
I think you
shit.
taught me once.
Yeah, I
one of
thought. Yeah, you're fine.
I don't
You-
remember the name, but I think I can do it.
It was Captain's knot.
That's it. That's the
since
one.
not,
It's not. And
Knew
yeah,
that
of
guy.
course, I'll walk with you, Jean-Jacques.
Okay. So in that case, I'll say Jean-Jacques, make a perception check, because obviously you were also checking the tower, right? Itself.
well, I'd focus on helping Barnack with his
Right.
looking for tracks.
So, yeah. So make the perception check first, and then we'll
Okay.
see how successful that is at supporting Barnack in his survival check.
Not at all. 5.
5. Okay. No, that's fine. Go ahead and roll your survival check with advantage.
Am I still searching for entrances?
Yes.
No,
So you roll perception check as well, and Tani, everyone has kind of walked away from you, as you're left with two ropes in your hands.
Perception.
50-foot coils.
What is Roll 20 doing to me today? Jesus Christ, 7.
7. Okay.
Barnack.
Barnack.
Survival. 2 natural ones.
Ooh.
Wow.
2 natural ones.
Do
Okay.
you have inspiration? You have
I do.
inspiration?
I do.
But no.
Roll a third natural one. I dare you.
I do. This is actually important to get into the tower. Yeah, I'll use inspiration for this. Okay, if it's a third natural one, I'm just going offline. It's not. Okay, 18 in total.
Okay. So, first of all, Tarnok, as you kind of round the tower, you walk most of the distance around it. You find absolutely no change in the surface whatsoever. There's like slight wear and tear on the absolute outside of the stone, but that is where sort of like these slight vapors are escaping, which the creatures are absorbing. But there's no shape of a door or window, neither close to the ground nor high up in the air. So you go around and you come to a point where you expect that you should have met one of the others who was going around the other way, but there's nobody there. And this is because, as you move on, you find Jean-Jacques and Barnack leaning over a trail and carefully picking out several footsteps of not just one person, but of several people, it seems, who approached this tower. Some of the footsteps are older, which is kind of throwing you, Barnack, but there is indeed one set that is fresh, and it seems to lead straight towards the tower, and then right as it comes to sort of the unofficial edge of the circle of these creatures, it starts to bob and weave. Not around the creatures that are there now, but you gather, from what you can tell, that he was bobbing and weaving around the creatures that were there previously, when he was there.
And then, do I see the footprints further?
They just end at the tower base.
Yeah, but they get to the tower.
They get to the tower and then they stop.
Okay.
When I first see the tracks, and both of them analyze the tracks, and based on the frustration of not seeing anything, I kind of let out a kind of ha, and then give a Barnack a slight tap on the back. This is why I hate with you guys.
As you let out the slight ha, the two creatures closest do turn around briefly, very slowly, just kind of hovering, and then they turn back to the tower.
Before anything, guys, the creatures were coming after you two last time, if I remember.
Well, they were coming mostly after me.
Yeah, but they completely ignored me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So can we
might be
do
able to-
Myra's thing? Perhaps you guys get inside the tower and we're able to.
We need to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I might be able to get through anyway. Let's see if I can get through, and if not, I have a plan B. I discussed the plan B with Tommy.
Well, before you go, I believe that as long as we don't harm them or use magic, they might not pay attention to us. Because if you remember, before that void giant thing attacked us, we managed to skirt around them. So I believe that unless we use magic or unless we attack them directly, they might not go after us.
Well, let's see, and I'll just pick a rock. Is there a rock like on the ground?
Mm-hmm. Sure. Many.
I won't hit any of them. I'll just like throw it like 5 meters away from one of them, like just to see if it like notices it or goes after it or something.
There's a slight thump, but the creature nearby doesn't even give a reaction. You gather that a rock falling might be too natural of an event to draw attention from something living in these woods.
Shoot an arrow.
Well, wait, before you do,
But that might be
if you see those cracks where the creatures are gathering,
Yeah.
I believe that this is either an archmage's tower or at least was constructed and is magical in essence. So those fumes should be more interesting than us as we approach. So if you can maybe find a path between two cracks that are letting out the mist or the fume, we might be able to
And looking to Jean-Jacques, without trying to cast any magic, I don't see any green vapors coming out of it. Right?
Out of Jean-Jacques? No. There's currently no vapors coming off of anyone.
So
Yeah, so maybe
might be right, but
that sounds like a good idea.
yeah, the I think it would be best if I were to just go alone first, just to see if they converge or not. If they
Okay.
don't, we'll at least know that we might be able to just pass without magic.
Okay. Well,
Let's go
I think
back.
we should use absolutely no magic.
Yeah, no magic here. Let's go back to Tani, and I'll also present to you my other plan, and we'll see what you think about that.
Okay. So you head back to Tani.
Yeah.
Who by now I assume has tied the ropes together.
At least try to, yeah.
Okay. Well, try to. Do you want to make a dexterity check to see how successful you are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dexterity.
I need to go to the bathroom real quick. Be
Sure.
back.
And we all died.
15.
Okay. With a 15, those are some pretty serious knots. You've been paying attention to Barnack. Which is not always a good thing, but in this case it definitely was.
It's not always a good thing, yeah.
Alright. Yeah, let's just give Nicola a second to come back.
Well, he's heard it, so I'll just say
Sure.
basically to everyone. Tarnok, Jean-Jacques, Myra, Tani and I used this trick once before to get into a tavern that was guarded by things around it, and we managed to basically use it to be kinda invisible. I shot an arrow through the window, and we used it, and we tied it to a tree, and then we used it to basically climb up slowly up there.
Okay.
There is no window here, but if
What's
my
the
eyes
target?
don't deceive me, I can get the arrow up there, and I just point to the top of the tower.
Up the tower?
Yeah.
It's not now that I'm going to doubt your bow skills, Barnack, but don't make it this time that I'll have reason to doubt them. Please.
It's just an idea. We don't have to do this. I've seen the tracks that lead to the tower, so we might be able to just walk there. But
If this is anything like some other magical towers that I've read about, it's less about where you approach it and more about how one enters it. I don't know if that really made sense, but what as far as I understand, with arcane constructs of this nature, they're not like regular buildings in the sense that there's a front and a back. Could be wrong, but
yeah, we could. Let's then do the first plan that we had. I'll just go forward and try to get to the tower.
Okay. Do you
No magic needed, no anything.
try to follow the path that you saw, or do you pick your own path on a different side of the tower?
Since I didn't see anything weird about any different paths, I'll just go from where we are. Or
Okay.
if we converge to where the footprints are, then
No,
I'll just
because
follow
you walk back to Tani, right? So you're
so
back
then
at your starting
I'll
position.
just go from there to
Wait.
to the tower.
Wait. Jean-Jacques, do you have any type of stationary magic in the sense that you could cast something in a place and this magic would remain active? Because perhaps baiting these creatures would be a nice option too. I don't know.
I do not. But Myra does. But
But is Myra's magic something that attracts these creatures as well? I can't remember that from our previous interaction with them.
She,
I'm not
get
sure.
attacked
Yeah.
by them,
Okay.
but she did try to defend you from it after you attacked it as well.
Yeah. I mean, as far as I understand, while magic comes from different sources in the sense of how you acquire it, I believe that it all pulls on the weave to manifest itself. Is that right, Kevin? To the best of my understanding, like
I'm
arcane theory.
That would seem right.
Yeah.
But the green vapor-like substances that you've been seeing and that you see now on the tower do not conform to the traditional theory and interpretation of that theory about how the weave functions. That is
Right.
an unknown.
Right, so it could be, yeah. I think we should just try and approach it as simply as possible. Mordenkainen's razor and all that. And
Yeah.
if that doesn't work, we can explore other possibilities.
Fair enough.
Okay, I'll go first.
Okay.
Have no magic on me.
So you approach the
He
tower.
with like 3 9th level spells in the ring. Whatever.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, you
It's
have magic
hidden-
items on you.
It is hidden. It is hidden below a glove.
Sure. So go ahead. I assume you're trying to stay away from the creatures at least as you pass
Yeah.
them. Do you take any special precautions as you approach the...
I'll take this route. Basically.
Okay.
In the meantime, I'll try to stash the 3 knotted ropes into my packs.
Alright. Yeah, you're inside the tower with that marking, but I get what you mean.
Yeah. Sorry.
So you start to move in between. It's
Yeah.
quite a tense moment as everybody around you is expecting something to happen, and you are as well probably. But you step in between 2 of them, no response. You step a little further, one of them turns to look at you, and then just turns back to the tower, taking no interest in you whatsoever. And you make it to within about 20 feet of the tower, and as you step forward to approach even closer, you see the smooth front suddenly, like liquid metal, shape itself into something, and you see the very thin outline of what could be a door, but there's no handle. Instead, in place of a handle, you see a slight indentation where a hand can be placed.
How does it?
A hand?
Yes, a hand.
Does it look like my hand or something
Doesn't
else?
it looks like a hand that
Just a
is
hand, yeah.
not as beefy and a little longer in the fingers.
Yeah. Okay.
Not as beefy
I'll-
and a little longer.
I'll turn around and just point to the doorway to everyone. Trying to
Move
see
start,
if
right?
they all see it as well.
Yeah, you
or-
all see the doorway that has appeared.
I'll approach and look at the tower, and with my non-ringed hand, I'll put the hand there.
Okay. Make a Constitution saving throw.
As he approaches, Jean-Jacques will start following the same path he went.
Okay.
To try and approach.
So you begin to move. As he touches the door, all of you hear a word spoken in Sylvan, which I believe only Jean-Jacques understands.
Only I do, yeah.
So I'm going to send it to you.
Okay.
What is your Constitution saving throw, Barnack?
4.
You take 50 points of necrotic damage as your hand blackens and you shoot back in pain. And all of you hear that sound, and immediately most of the nearby creatures converge, but not on you, but on the door, trying and like pushing their faces and feelers into the cracks and the openings, and like trying to somehow get at some sort of magic that has just occurred here. So we'll say that you're
You
about
said 50, by the way, right?
50, 50, yes.
Yeah, good. Okay.
So you kind of staggered back a little bit. You're kind of lying underneath this
A little
grouping
bit?
of creatures.
No, I stagger a few paces back, and my hand is bloody, and I also spit blood. And I look back at them, and I just do like,
Jean-Jacques was already like kind of in a panicked quick walk moment / starting to run, but then seeing all of them converge kind of slowed down, but is definitely moving towards Barnack.
that hurt.
As you watch, slowly the blackness begins to fade back, but your hand does look just horrible, like it's been worn out.
I have an old hand now.
Just point like shh, and point towards all of the things that are around him, and I motion to him like, crawl your way out of fucking beneath 10 of them, you dumbass.
I won't crawl because I'm still short. So I'll just move.
Well, I mean, dwarves go between 4 and 5 feet.
I'll do this.
Yeah, okay. So you duck. Several times you feel like slimy, translucent feelers that kind of drag across your head, but they pay no attention to you. And a weakened-looking Barnack emerges from the group of creatures that are very slowly, like they're drifting apart a little bit, but they're still very interested in the door, except that as Barnack passes beyond about 20-foot range from the door, it vanishes, and they slowly begin to drift apart. Takes longer than just the door vanishing, though. There's still a residue of some kind that seems to be keeping their interest. So yeah.
Approaches it. I grab his hand and I try, and I'm just taking a look at it to see, like, do I have an idea of what type of what happened essentially to him?
Make an Arcana check.
Advantage. Oh, natural 20 gone to waste. 21.
Okay, I'm going to send it to you on Discord.
Okay.
What does my palm say?
I just turned to Jean-Jacques and you listened to that as well, right? That sounded like that language that you were speaking earlier.
Yes. It said death.
Okay.
Well, that didn't kill me.
Yeah, and I put a hand on Barnack's shoulder, and there's like a relieved kind of expression on Jean-Jacques' face, and says, and you were very close to that, my friend. What magic lay inside that doorway was far beyond something that we can deal with at this point in time. It's only because it's been so long that you're not gone. By the way, this meant like I'm coming over to check the door out, not like put your hand in.
I thought it's like good thinking.
Yeah. Need to work on non-verbal communication between us.
Yeah. You have to. Tanya and I will teach you our freelancer training, communication, non-verbal. We have.
Guys, we gotta go. Come on. We're wasting time that we don't have.
What do you mean?
He
What do you
almost
mean?
cut him
How
down.
we get him?
Or go away?
Well, we almost die at all times. I've died before, so let's just go.
Yes, and the answer is not to just go and rush. The answer is up to approach a situation meticulously and plan it out and find out what the fuck you're dealing with.
How are we going to do that?
By letting somebody who's qualified take a look at the fucking door. And I'll start walking through the things towards the door.
Okay.
Oh, and when you do,
cursing under my breath in French.
I turn to Tanya and say, "Oh, he meant himself. I didn't actually get that."
Yeah, I'll approach closer.
Okay. And the door reappears. No activity from the creatures. It seems that the door appearing itself is not inherently magical.
Okay. And I'll get really close to it, but I won't touch
Okay.
the door, and I'll try and. I wish I could cast a spell, which I won't do.
You can. What's stopping you? What the?
Well, actually, I could, but I feel like what I would need to do would be such a humongous waste of resources that I will not. So for now, I'll just take a look at the door and try to understand the arcane nature of it. See if it's been triggered and now is it just a trap, or is it actually functioning and that there was something wrong with Barnack, for example?
Okay.
So
make
I have a suspicion, but
yeah, make an basically Arcana investigation, which is just your Arcana check.
yeah, same roll pretty much. So
yeah.
Oh, great. That's an 8. But I will spend a sorcery point to re-roll. Now, let me just double check how it's worded, because
it needs a DC, guidance, which it has.
Okay, so it says that I can re-roll a d20. So does that mean that I re-roll with disadvantage, or do I just re-roll once?
No, just one of the d20s, I think.
Just one of the d20s. Yeah. Okay, so I'll spend a sorcery point re-roll. That's much better. So do I take? How does it work? Do I just take the new roll then?
Yeah, I think it says that, right? To take the new roll.
Yeah. If you must use the new roll.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a 23.
Okay. As far as you can tell, this is an active, functioning doorway. It's just not attuned to allow anyone in but the correct owner of the tower. It has a particular shape, and there's indeed even like little grooves, like around the fingertips. For us, it would be essentially fingerprinting, which seem in need of alignment with the person that is trying to gain entry. But as far as you can tell, it is still magical. It is still charged as well. Like the overall power is reduced because of time and decay, but having expended this particular repulsion of Barnack does not seem to have depleted its magic in any sort of noticeable way.
Okay. So I get the sense that it would have to be a specific individual that opens the door.
Yes. You gather one wizard who might have owned the tower.
Yeah.
Wait, oh, he's not there.
I will come back and relay this.
Okay.
We should tell me, Jean-Jacques, how would I have died?
What are you asking about them?
Would I have just dropped dead?
Yes.
Okay.
Instantly.
Yeah, but would my corpse be still there?
I'm not entirely certain.
Okay, because we didn't see the corpse of Mr. Sordenbrand.
Yeah.
Maybe it would have turned like your hand, but all over.
Maybe, but there is no corpse of Mr. Sordenbrand anywhere, so he got in.
To be fair, you're not currently looking in the area where he would have attempted to gain entry.
So I might have been wrong. Could be that there is a guest entrance, I guess. So I propose we go over there and check where Lord Sordenbrand entered.
A guest entrance. I mean,
it's a wizard tower. It could really be anything. Well, let's
go there. Let's go there, and Tani, I think we'll be using our plan.
How would your plan? There's no. Never mind. I'll just walk over to.
Okay.
Repeat the process of approaching slowly the place where the tracks for Lord Sordenbrand disappear.
Maybe if we do our plan, I say to Barnack, maybe as we walk, maybe because it wouldn't be a door. Maybe there wouldn't be death in that door, right? Maybe it would be just a window, and there wouldn't be no death magic there.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, so what's actually happening? You guys walk over, and Jean-Jacques, you go close to inspect the location where the footsteps end, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. As you start to get closer, another door appears here, but where the one that you saw previously was pretty much in the same state as the outside of the tower, it just kind of gained some grooves to outline the edges of the door, and that's it. The particular version that you find here is a lot more battered. The stonework that appears has been physically attacked multiple times, seemingly to no success, but there are definitely marks there that have been left, you think relatively recently, and you might even speculate that this sort of place definitely repairs itself over time, which means that for you to see this, it would have to have been not years ago. But other than that, it's all the same.
Okay. And do I need a new Arcana check to try and kind of discern if it's the exact same setup?
I will say no. With the 23 that you had, you can determine that it is, in essence, the same place. It's even the same door. It's just that it's formed from materials here that were damaged in this fashion. So there's a sort of, the magic is exactly the same. That it seems to stretch all around, and it just forms wherever you are. And there it's slightly shaped by the local physical properties that it finds.
As I'm standing there, sort of like pondering, I'll say out loud in Sylvan, I seek audience with the Grand Wizard of this tower.
Roll a persuasion check.
I will spend the sorcery point to reroll, if I may.
Yeah.
19.
Okay. The door does not open,
Yes.
but a magic mouth appears on the outside, and it informs you. The master is currently not in residence. Please come back later.
I just kind of motion to the rest to slowly approach, and I say, in Sylvan, I see. Would it be possible to wait in the entrance chamber? We have come a long way and could really use some rest.
The mouth kind of turns downwards disapprovingly, and it says, without the master's presence, we cannot admit anyone. Please come back later.
Is there perhaps somebody inside that could allow us entrance?
The keeper is inside. They could grant you entrance, but not without the master. Please come back later.
Might we get an audience with the keeper?
The keeper cannot come outside. Please come back later.
So I'll wait for the rest to arrive, and
Okay.
I'll explain to them.
Yeah, you guys probably
What
hear
I've
the
tried
back
so
end of
far.
this conversation.
I'll say, well, it said the keeper can't come outside. Just ask if we can come inside for the audience.
Well, okay. Might we come inside to converse with the keeper?
Please hold.
Very good, Barnack. I'm holding, whatever the fuck that means.
There's a good 4 or 5 minutes that pass. Nothing happens. Another 5 minutes begin to pass. Do you do anything as you wait?
I'll ask Myra for some healing while I'm still spitting out blood.
She will not give it to
Yeah.
you. Point.
All the
Yeah,
creatures around.
Yeah, I completely forget about that. Okay. Oh, right.
Inside.
Inside.
The keeper, unfortunately, cannot break the master's edict. You cannot come inside without the master's permission. Please come back later.
Do you know perhaps where the master might be at this time, so that we can...
The master is currently not in residence. Please come back later.
Who is the master?
Fucking infuriating.
Who is the master, Jean-Jacques?
Well, I feel like if I asked them who's the fucking master, I've already asked to see the master, so I don't know if that would trigger some kind of defensive array.
Did we ask if there's someone else inside, Mr. Sordenbrand?
There is the keeper.
Keeper come outside?
Just say the lady. Tell the mouth the lady sent us.
Wouldn't say that's a nice idea.
I just turn towards the door and I just ask in common, Master Door, can you understand us when we speak like this?
There's no answer.
Okay, they might not. Worth a try.
Didn't the lady say that the tower was built by her husband?
I do believe
Yes.
that she did.
Well, why wouldn't then? Yeah, why wouldn't we say that his wife told us to come here?
Or at least that we have her blessing.
She did mention that her husband trapped this thing inside the tower, or that rather he tried to contain it within
Yeah.
as it was trying to break through.
The keeper, apparently.
Well, I don't know. It could be the keeper, but a keeper, I guess, could also be a separate entity entirely. But a good point, yeah. If that's the keeper, then probably best not for it not to come out right now.
Turnock sits down.
Okay.
All right. I'll try the lady then. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
I'll
as
turn-
long as we're not touching the thing.
I'll turn towards the door and I say, would it perhaps help if Lady Edeah was the one that sent us? She pointed the way and mentioned that we could meet her husband here. It was super German at the end. I don't know why.
The Germans.
You cannot enter without the master's permission. Please come back later.
We have the mistress's permission. Does that not count for anything?
1 second.
We're gonna get blasted with the disintegrate
Yeah.
right now.
No, I need to look up a name real quick. Oh yeah. The Tower of Danos has no mistress. Please desist from all further attempts to deceive this system. It will not be appreciated. Please come back later.
How did fucking Sordenbrand get in?
I would imagine that he had permission somehow.
Maybe the master was around when he came.
The door looks a bit worn though here.
It does.
I mean, breaking and entering? It's not our style, but
Is it really not? Anyway, I don't know if he was really successful in breaking it down. Do you get the impression that it was actually a successful, like, did they break the door and it just regrew, or?
You get the impression that it might have been if it had been kept up, but the amount of attacks and damage that have been dealt weren't sufficient. So maybe, it was attempted but never completed. You're not sure.
Yeah. Kind of fucked up.
I mean, a rope time?
What are we gonna do with the rope?
I'll shoot an arrow up there and we'll try to climb it.
And how do we enter a tower with no windows?
Maybe there's a hatch?
Or a knife.
I mean, I guess it's as feasible as anything else.
I mean, I have
Yeah,
no other...
maybe there's-
I don't know.
Maybe there's an opening up on the roof or something. And that wouldn't count as
the roof
door.
also was very shiny, do you remember?
Last time we proceeded with maybe, Barnack almost died.
That's true. But
You've already given me shit for ignoring that part, but now you're ignoring that part.
No,
So-
I'm fine, but I don't know what to do. The door doesn't bulge.
The keeper has requested that you vacate the premises for the time being. The master already has other guests.
Wasn't... Say to their mouth, please, that wasn't the master around? The master has guests, but he's not around.
How did these guests get inside if the master is not present?
They are closely associated to the master.
And how do you know that we are not?
You have not presented yourself. You get the impression that they're talking about the fingers on the door.
Right.
But I think I presented. I understand.
Right.
Your
Let's just
imprint.
move away for...
Sorry, it actually continues in common, and it says,
There you go.
"Your imprint was not found in our database. You are not welcome without the master's permission."
Last time I heard this was in the drone thing. Fucking dream.
What do you mean?
I mean,
Don't you remember when we had that dream all together and that many eye things were coming out of the walls? And that little cube thing was there as well, and it was talking about the same things like database and whatever.
Oh, yeah. Is it real... I asked the thing in comment. Is it real necessary to harm us if we're not welcome? Can't you simply say, "You're not welcome"? If I attack... Because I'm a little bit wary of what might happen if I touch the door and have you search for the database.
There are currently only 2 entries in the database. You are not welcome. Please vacate the premises.
Ask who the
Let's
other one
move
was.
away. Let's move away.
Yeah, ask for who the second one is.
I mean, it can understand you, so...
Oh, who's the second one?
The current entries in our database are the master and his wife, Lady Edeah.
But we have a blessing from the Lady Edeah to enter the tower, who is the master's wife. Is she not the mistress henceforth, in a manner of speaking?
She is not the mistress of this tower. She is able to access it as a guest.
Wait, it said that it had guests inside now.
Each of you make an insight check.
roll 20 is just not 12.
I'm not playing along with you today, my friend.
No.
Okay, 15,
14 for
12,
me.
14. Barnack, 1.
3.
Myra?
In total, 3. That's a natural one.
Yeah. Nicola, can you roll for Myra as well?
Yeah, sorry.
No,
Spaced
no
out.
worries.
Myra. I'll roll in there. Roll 20, because...
Sure.
18.
Okay. I will say Myra kind of quietly shares information with you and tells you that she believes that the voice has changed. Where previously it was a very particular voice and it was only giving certain information, she thinks that currently it's only an imitation of that and that there's actually someone on the other end speaking right now.
I guess I'll say, nobody else is speaking up, I'll say, the lady here, Lady Edeah, sent us because one of our compatriots, or rather acquaintances inside, is actually a guest at this time, which is Lord Sordenbrand, and we have been sent by his wife to...
If you have the lady's blessing, then please allow her to open the door. But this is impossible, because she is already inside. Do you see where you have tried to deceive us?
do, however, see that this might seem that way, but the lady spoke to us outside the tower in her ethereal form.
If the lady was outside of the tower, then she would be able to open the door for you. Please vacate the premises.
Just look towards him exasperated, like, would you like to hit it for a while? Maybe that will help.
If the let's leave for a moment. Let's just go to the forest for a moment.
All right.
We'll come back door. Turnok? What's it? Okay, while we were fighting on the shore, after we were fighting on the shore, I was a bit too direct while I was questioning. If you remember on the shore, we were questioning. That doesn't matter. Am I correct in saying that we were told not to trust the lady of the forest?
Oh yes, you were most correct, but
We're told not to trust anything in the mist.
No, we were
no,
told
we were specifically told not to trust the lady.
Lady of the forest. Now,
Yes.
if the tower is correct and the actual lady of the forest is here, who gave us the blessing?
I believe that the lady is there in her corporeal dead form. That's what I would.
But what do you know, right, Jean-Jacques? What do you know?
A lot of things.
Oh yeah. For sure, yeah.
But she
I
helped
just-
us get rid of the misconfusion. We don't.
Yeah, whoever's controlling the mist could have done that independently
Which is her husband.
of it being the... Oh, you definitely know a lot of things, Jean-Jacques.
I mean, she said it as much.
And we were told by someone who we decided to trust and ship out to our boat that she shouldn't be trusted, and we have been trusting her so far, which I respected but not necessarily agree to, because well, I don't generally trust ghost spirits or undead. I don't know, it's just morals. So we were either screwed up, or we have no ways of getting into this tower without brute forcing our way in. Which is not an option that I'd like to take right now, because I'm guessing that these creatures would be, and I point towards the floating things, they would be, well, depending on how fast we are, maybe they just get in and try to suck the magic force out of the tower, but
Why don't we make them suck the force out of that trap?
out of the what?
The hand thing, the trap.
But they couldn't, they tried already, and they just...
They converged on once. Can we make it happen without touching it? And then they converge again and again and again.
Magic's not usually something that you can deceive that easily, Barnek. And I'm not magically versed, but I know that much. I honestly, well, we got here already. It's just, I don't know. It doesn't look like we have a way to get in, unless we decide on, well, you know what I'm going to say, so I'm just gonna leave it there.
Hit in the door? Killing all these things?
No, Barnek.
Oh, you mean the... Right.
Yeah,
I
that's what I
forgot
mean.
about that.
I would most definitely draw all the creatures around. Probably.
Oh, maybe.
If we wish for us to be inside the tower, well, we would just be inside the tower and the
By the way,
creatures...
how do you
would-
know about the wishes? I never told anybody outside of Barnak what it does. Did you
Oh
share
yeah,
about
you
that?
guys deliberately
right.
didn't share
right,
it.
I
I was
forgot.
just assuming that
Yeah,
you knew.
yeah,
Yeah, ignore all of that then.
Oh right. I'll think.
Sorry,
Hold
it's
on.
just
No, you're right.
Yeah.
You're
I'll
definitely
be
right.
back in a sec, and I'll move about 100 feet away from the tower
Okay. Down the hill.
while they talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I still see the tower?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're back in
I'll
the mist.
shoot at it. Yeah, I'll shoot at it.
Okay.
I
Where?
want to
Like how high and?
I'll shoot it not to the top, but like maybe 10 meters away from the top. Like
Okay.
I'll try to just hit the wall.
Well, okay. So what's the max range on your bow?
600.
Okay. Yeah, that works. So go ahead and make your attack roll.
Plus 9. Yeah, that's 24.
Okay. Yep. The arrow embeds about 10 meters below the top into the stone.
But I see it embedding it, right?
Yeah. I mean, the tower has like the stonework is smooth, but there's still cracks running like
Yeah,
in different
yeah,
places.
but
So
nothing happens. Nothing like
No.
explodes there. Or
No, there's
the
no
tower
explosion.
gets- Okay. Okay. I'll come back. That arrow there is my arrow, and it got to the tower and didn't get murdered with whatever this is.
well, I mean, based on the markings on the door, somebody tried
Yeah, I was going
real
to say
hard to
I
break
could
in.
probably shoot at those markings from about 100 feet away. That's what I meant.
I don't know if an arrow would be the best implement for the job, just because of the force and impact. Like it's a very thin. Like you'd essentially have to, like, I guess, hit a perfect shot multiple times all around the door. You know.
Yeah. Hmm. We could go back and ask the lady to just come with us and put her weird hand. Why didn't she come with us?
The time, Mornak.
I know, but we have nothing else to try. Unless you want to break in, and by all means, I would love that.
I don't
Breaking in
think.
without the master's permission?
Maybe we can try honesty. Right?
What do you have in mind?
Well, if this, if Mara is correct, and that there was somebody actually controlling the mouth at the door, right? And let's assume, just for the sake of argument, that the keeper is actually not the creature that's been contained within. Maybe it's a servant of some kind. If we approach them and we explain that our purpose is to find Lord Sordenbrand, but also to expel this creature, or rather make sure that it's not released, maybe they will agree to let us inside, as we would be essentially aiding the master. I mean, I don't see how it could hurt, if we're honest.
Yeah, Charnock tries his best to imitate the voice and say, "The master does not allow you in the premises of the tower. Please
Sure,
go
but-
on." I do understand, but
Do you have a better
Yeah.
idea, Turnok, or are you just trying to be difficult?
no, I'm not trying to be difficult. This is difficult.
I agree, but... Well, to be
And
honest,
not only is it difficult, but I don't think this is going to work. But we can try, most definitely. But how many other attempts do we have until we drain the patience out of whatever is guarding this tower, and they decide to, just come for us? And we'll have no other option than to fight whatever's outside and inside and try to force our way in either way. That's just my train of thought.
Sure.
They don't seem receptive.
Kevin, I sent you a message.
Okay.
I understand, but whoever tried, or rather Lord Sordenbread, I would assume, was hidden the door for a while. If it truly had the power to harm somebody outside the tower, I would assume that it would have done it.
Yeah, so go ahead if you may.
Could we ask if Lord Surdenbrand is inside, and if so, could he come out for a quick
Sure.
talk? I don't know.
We could definitely do that.
Jaja, can you transform into Lady Edeah?
I could appear as Lady Edeah, but that would be magical. I don't know if the creatures would react to something that I'm maintaining, so I could go ways away, transform, and then approach, but it would only be an illusion. It wouldn't be physical.
Then again, magic's not that easily deceivable as
Yes.
you're trying to make it look like.
Guys?
Okay, yes.
And I point up there and to the top of the tower. I was looking where I shot, and can you look at that top part? Do you not see that there is another part of the tower there, engulfed in light?
We
And
see
I
it.
point to that.
So Barnack points it out, and some of you maybe get an inkling, but what he means is that the light that obviously sits at the top of the tower, it is actually contained within, and it's shining out through openings, like almost like an actual lighthouse. It's just so bright that it obscures vision of those openings, and it's almost like a ball of light that is straining against those constraints. But it's very vague. It's just like slight outlines that you see.
What are you thinking?
I mean, know what I'm thinking. Shoot them the things until they open, but
All right, shall we try honesty?
yeah, let's try that first. Let's try that, and also, honestly, just ask if Lady is alive inside.
Sure.
If we're honest, maybe they're honest, and if they say that the lady is alive inside and well, and that she's walking the premises or whatever, then we go back to the forest, see the other lady that's trying to be her, and open the hatch in her house as well. I don't care. Someone's lying to us, and we have to find out who.
All right. Well, let's try. So I'll approach the door.
Okay. It appears. The magic mouth appears.
May we speak to whomever was controlling the mouth for but a moment?
Please present your credentials to the door, or vacate the premises.
All right. I'll procure my freelancer badge and I show it to the door. And I say, we are here on official freelancer business to find Lord Sordenbrand and return him to his love and wife. Along the way, we found out that there is an entity in the tower that is trying to break free, that is a remnant of the God's Fall, a dark entity made of chaos, that the master of the tower, to the best of our understanding, was trying to keep locked away. We would like to help and lock it away as well. Or at the very least, we'd like Lord Sordenbrand to come out. So if you could transfer a message to him, that would be much appreciated. But otherwise, we are offering our services to exterminate this thing and keep it locked away.
Elena misses him.
She does indeed.
There's a brief silence, the mouth downturned again. It then proceeds to say, current projections suggest that the tower will suffer total reality collapse between 3 and 94,883 days from now. It would not be wise to enter, as we have advised the mistress upon her entry.
390,000.
390,000, yeah. We take your advisement under consideration, but we do believe that we can help. 3 days is an awful short time for that thing to come out.
The only way that I can allow you entry into the tower is by taking you captive. This is the protocol. Please vacate the premises.
And look at the others, be like, anybody opposed to being captive?
Well, depends on what they mean.
Kira, I can't hear you.
Whatever I say, I'll be just making myself difficult, am I right? And I just cross my arms and I just stand there.
Jean-Jacques doesn't acknowledge at all.
I
Just
turn
the others.
to both Tarnok and Jean-Jacques and I say, you guys need to work on your conversation skills between each other, just so you know. And I'll say, Mouth, what do you mean by taking us captive?
You will be held until the master can see you.
Yeah, of course. So for another 90,000 years. Okay. Is the lady of the tower alive inside?
Scanning. There's currently one life sign within the tower.
Is that the keeper?
The keeper is not alive.
What about the lady?
There's currently one life sign within the tower,
Of course.
and one possible occupant of the tower.
Is Mr. Sordenbrand alive?
There is no record of any Mr. Sordenbrand within the tower.
No. That's an useful answer. Thank you, Dorn.
You're welcome.
Does the tower have any captives as of right now?
Scanning. There's currently one captive.
Is the captive Mr. Sordenbrand?
And the captive is not a mortal entity.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's...
So,
Wait, if it captures us, we'll be next to that chaos thing.
yep.
Yeah, let's not get captured. That's actually a bad idea. And I'll slowly start walking away. No.
I will say that the tower seems to respond and say, if you are captured, you will be completely safe. Danos guarantees it.
Danos.
Danos.
Did we hear the name Danos before?
It's the Tower of
Ever.
Danos. No.
Yeah, but ever no.
No, not that you know of.
Okay.
You didn't ask the lady what her husband's name was.
Yeah, no. Before that, I meant. Okay.
No.
From all the books that we had or whatever. Okay.
So I'm letting this draw out a bit over our usual time.
Jean-Jacques,
Yes?
could try to get us in.
He just shakes his head.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
The door said Lord Sordenbrand. Well, there was no record of him being there. Do you think
Yeah.
he didn't enter? But the lady said something, right?
The lady said that she
Yeah.
sent him this way. If we look from the tower to like our surroundings, is there any other anything of interest, any point of interest but the tower?
No, trees and tower is all you see. You are on a hill, so you would
Yeah.
potentially be able to see further, but the trees come actually quite close to the top, so they block your view of seeing more of the island.
The tracks that we found,
You found
Did they-
tracks.
they went to the tower and
Yes.
they ended at the tower.
You're standing.
Did any
literally on
tracks
top.
go back?
No. You're standing
tracks
on top of the tracks where they hit the tower and then stop.
And no
Well,
corpse.
I cannot walk away from this. But I
I mean-
understand that you don't want to proceed with the only available path that I see. So I'm willing to go inside myself and try to get out and open the door for you.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
I'm still talking about the plan.
We're not getting separated.
Still
No,
in
And our
Okay,
mission is to know for sure what happened with Lord Sordenbrand. Right now, we don't know for sure. We gotta finish this.
Door. What is the procedure for taking captives in?
You will step inside, and you will be held in the entry hall until the master can see you.
Who you hold us?
You will be held.
Will we be? Whoever is holding us will take away our possessions.
There's no need to take away any of your possessions. You will simply be held. You will be
Yeah,
fed.
fuck it.
You will be given drink. You will be taken care of until the master can see you.
The last question before I submit myself to this: is the master alive at this moment?
Unknown.
Yeah, fuck you.
Wait, just ask.
Do you know when
was
the master will return?
Yes.
Unknown. The master has not returned to the tower in 49,731 days.
49. Okay, now of course getting to 49,739.
31. Because those 8
136
days.
years.
Furious calculations.
Okay.
Now Myra will pop in, and I won't do it in character just because of Chansey will mention that she has the freedom of movement spell that lasts for an hour. It means that your speed cannot be reduced to 0. So if it's magical in nature, whatever is holding us in the entrance chamber might not affect one person. Or 2, if she were to completely tap herself out of higher level spells. I guess maybe Chansey would. Maybe I'm sharing this as Nicola then, because I don't want to say what Myra would do. But since I do have the character sheet in front of me.
That's a fair point.
Doesn't mean that a super powerful spell wouldn't, if it in some way used, but potential.
So what do you guys want to do? Or do you want a week to think about it?
I know what I want to do, so I don't personally need a week.
Right,
if everybody
but
else wants to
I
consider
guess I should put it, how are you going to come to a consensus? Because at this point, everyone's made their opinion clear. So how are you going to decide how you're actually going to move forward? Because you are at a slight impasse, so you have to decide on something to do. Otherwise, you can grow old next to the tower, but that might not be that long.
That wouldn't take that long.
Yeah.
I do have a question. So, JJ, you said you want to go inside the tower. Would it be okay if you were a captive?
Yeah.
Okay, Tarnok, you as well? Did you say that, or were you?
I just hate trusting Jean-Jacques. So
Why?
none of your concern. Yes, I would be okay being taken captive.
Okay. Tani?
Wherever you go, I follow. And I do want to finish this mission. I want to know the answers, you know? I want to know what happened.
Myra, I know you're here for like a day, or on this island for like a year or something, but honestly,
Make an insight check on Myra, and I'll roll for her on this side.
not bad, I guess. But let me just check. Insight is 19.
Okay. 1 second.
Myra is now like the master of this tower.
No, Myra seems... I suppose she probably wouldn't say anything, but she seems the most uncomfortable, even more so than Turnock, at the prospect of being held captive here in some capacity. There's no why. It's not clear. Maybe she just really doesn't like it, but she's definitely the most uncomfortable.
Okay, we have to. I'll then, as the leader of the group, say it. We have two options. One option, taken alive, and all of the both options are if we're to stay here. One option, taken alive. The other option, trying to go with the rope up there and seeing what that light is. Again, that might fail, and we might plummet to our death. Tani, I mean, you and I could try it. We already did. And the rest of you can wait out.
I signal to Warnock to wait for a moment. Door, how much of our conversation are you listening to?
Your conversation has occurred within the region that I am able to access.
Yeah, think about that, Warnock.
Yeah, so I'll turn to the door and say, so you do realize that we're trying to get in to help. You've heard what we said.
Your attempts to gain unauthorized access have been logged.
Nice.
I would kick the door if I wasn't afraid of getting my leg destroyed.
So, what will it be? A 300-foot climb, which will be very hard, no matter who you are, or going in, or are you going back to the lady?
Jean-Jacques, could you do a coin toss?
Sure could.
There are three options, unfortunately.
No, I'm not going to climb the tower now that I think about it. Yeah. 300
All right.
feet.
So the coin toss will do it.
I take out the platinum piece that I had commissioned.
No,
The
I
Timora's.
actually hand Jean-Jacques the bloody silver coin, and I say, "Try this. May help."
All right. What's the head and tails on that one, Kevin?
Heads.
No, it was the tails was the bloody part, if I'm not mistaken.
Was the what?
Tail was the bloody. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, yes, the tails was the bloody part, and the head was the clean one.
Right. Yeah, so take that, because I would have to dig into my notes from like 5 months ago. I don't have the particular
But is
description
it-
of
is
the
it-
silver coin.
yeah, okay.
Is it the Republic coin or is it?
No, I don't believe so.
No, it's Imperial coin, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Australian. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's different. So heads, or rather blood. We go back for blood.
Okay.
I don't.
From the ghost.
I don't like. Yeah, I don't like being lied to. So we go back. Clean side. We go inside.
All right then.
Okay.
And
So,
inwardly, I pray to Timora that it's clean.
okay. Make a religion check and then roll a 1d2 on roll 20, please, if you can.
Okay.
I'll
then
also
we can all see.
inwardly kinda pray to the Changebringer to basically guide us to positive change,
Okay.
positive outcome.
18 on me, and then roll 1d2.
Yes. So 1 is bloody, 2 is non-bloody.
Bloody.
Bloody. Okay. Yeah. It is what it is.
I guess fate's decided then.
We go back and we ask questions.
We need more information. We want to or not. We wanting the easy path or not. Being taken as captives is just the shortcut that we discovered on how to make this happen, not necessarily the way in. So I know time is sensitive, but
Maybe,
let's
maybe.
see any other way.
I know you're opposed to this, Tarnok, but maybe we could just some of us could stay here, not
I
go
don't mind
inside.
that.
Yeah,
I don't mind that.
Yeah, maybe we could keep an eye on the tower, talk to the mouth a bit more, maybe find a
I
way
don't mind
to.
that.
Also, mouth, please stop listening, and I'll go slowly away from
Okay.
where it can hear me.
As you say it, it just says, unable to comply.
Yeah, I'll shoot some arrows at you.
Okay, so you move a bit away.
Yeah.
So what are you guys going to do based on the coin toss in practice?
I mean, we go back.
I'm gonna go back.
Okay.
I'm one of the people that's actually going to go back and talk to the lady because my mind's still bugging me with the hatch, and it might have something to do with this. So considering that we were already fucked up, I don't know.
Okay.
We just need more answers.
Okay, so
I'm going back. I don't know who's going with me, but I'm going back.
so Tarnok gets ready to head back. Is anyone staying? Is probably the more important question.
Well, the only ones who could probably stay are Tani and me. Because if you, Jean-Jacques, stay here, you'll try something magical, and then we'll find your corpse here.
I'm the one person that will most definitely not try anything magical in the proximity of those fuckers ever again.
Yeah, that's true. You've already got burnt. Yeah. Still.
And I fully trust the lady, to be honest. I don't see any lie that she's told. And I'm quite tired. You can see, like, he actually does have, like, bags under his eyes, so I'll stay.
Okay. Jean-Jacques stays.
Okay.
Myra?
I suggest I go alone.
I'll stay. I don't have any magic, so I could fight if something, I don't know, happens.
Okay, Tani,
I suggest I go alone because if I don't return, you can still finish the mission.
Yeah, but I suggest Myra go with you. Because Myra can also reach us if need be.
You do you.
She can at least send us a message and say, hey, we're running away towards you, get ready, or something.
So you're suggesting
If we
Myra
have
goes along.
reason to run away from the lady, we won't have her blessing anymore, so we won't even know if we're praying towards you. Have that in mind as well.
That's true, but we'll see. Yeah, still, you going alone might just kill you. I don't want you to die. Yeah, I don't want you to. I don't want you to die, Tarnok. Then, I guess the three of us will stay here, and the two of you can go to the lady.
Well, in that case, let's continue this discussion next week, because then Myra gets a say as well,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
All right. So at an impasse, we stop with no decision made. Unfortunately.
Classic.
Well, you've hit a wall, literally.
Yep.
So I'm not surprised. But we'll find out next week what happens in the next episode of Tales of Edeah. Thank you guys so much for hanging with us and being with us. I really wanted to do the questions this week, but unfortunately now we needed the extra time to discuss. So
I'll need to rewrite them anyway, because they're old at this point. So.
Yeah. So maybe next week. But in the meantime, thank you guys so much, and we'll be back soon with more content on Wednesday already as we host the Ruined Keep. Woo! It's gonna be awesome. And of course on Tuesday the Ruined Keep itself. I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.